Hey everybody, welcome to the show. In this episode, we're going to be talking about what there is to do outside of Disneyland in the Orange County and Anaheim area. Coming up next, from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. This is a special edition of the Diz Unplugged, celebrating the 60th anniversary of Disneyland. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disneyland vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table today by my good friends Jenny Lynn Knopp.
Hey, everybody.
Tom Bell.
Hey, folks.
Kathy Whirling.
Hi, everyone.
Michael Bowling.
Hey there, hi there, ho there.
Corey Martin.
Still happy to be here.
And back in the production nook, Rhino Clavin on the switcher, along with producer Dustin West and associate producer Craig Williams.
Oh there, hey there, hi there.
And our good friend Will Perry.
Hey.
As you know, if you've been watching and listening to other shows, that Tom and Michael are part of the Disneyland edition of the Diz Unplugged team. And one of the regular segments that they do on their show is called Day 6, which is basically what to do outside of Disneyland.
Disneyland only sells 5-day tickets unless you upgrade to an annual pass. So if you want to kind of flesh out your Disneyland vacation as a Day 6, there's lots of things in Anaheim and Orange County to do.
And what's important about this, and years past we've talked about this before we had the Disneyland edition, and we would do Disneyland stuff on this show. One of the things I would always tell people is that one of the we talk about the differences between the experience in Anaheim versus Orlando, and one of those differences is that there's a lot to do beyond the parks.
You're in the middle of a city.
You're in the middle of Southern California.
Yeah.
So, whether it's, just the stuff that's right there around Anaheim,
Right.
Which there's a lot there, but you also have Hollywood, roughly an hour plus away. You have Huntington Beach.
Half hour.
Beaches, a half hour away.
Yeah.
You have San Diego about 60 to 90 minutes, depending on traffic.
You can take the train to San Diego.
True. And I have.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah.
That was fun when we
That
did
was fun, yeah. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. Some of the things to do on Day 6, or Day 6 and 7 and 8, if you're so inclined. So let's talk first, Tom, about Anaheim, the town of Anaheim, right there where Disneyland is, about some of the things that are there.
And again...
Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to go to a video. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So we have a little video put together of some things that are around the Anaheim area, just kind of give you a feel for it. So let's go ahead and play that. All right, so that's a look around Anaheim, a little video overview of Anaheim. Little later on in our coverage this week, we're going to be talking about Knott's Berry Farm, Universal Studios. Yeah. But let's talk about some of the things that are around Anaheim that you think might be of interest to people that are visiting out in California.
I mean, people, like we tell people, you shouldn't be afraid to stay off property. You also shouldn't be afraid to dine off property. We showed some footage of Garden Walk. Not the greatest shopping experience, but
dining-wise,
Bubba Gump, Cheesecake Factory, California Pizza Kitchen,
McCormick and
Schmick's, Roy's, Hawaiian Fusion, P.F. Chang's. Great dining. And, there's great dining options like that all over Anaheim. Just down the road, there's a corner that has not great dining. You know what I mean. There's a corner that has a Red Robin, an Outback Steakhouse, and a Joe's Crab Shack. Mm-hmm. Just, a mile down the road. People shouldn't be afraid to, and it's safe.
Right. And I think it's also important to put into context for folks that unlike here, where Disney bought all this land,
right.
So off-property hotels are a couple of miles away. That's not the case in Disneyland. The off-property hotels are across the street.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And surround the resort.
And the off-property shopping, off-property dining.
And it's all walking distance.
Yeah.
It's all walking distance. It's, you may have to walk a little bit depending on where you are. But, for example,
But if you want your McDonald's French fries, you walk across the street, there's a McDonald's. When we were at the Residence Inn, one of the off-property hotels we're going to be covering this week, we walked from there through Garden Walk to get to Disneyland. Yeah.
And it was a very easy walk.
Yeah.
It's not long at all. Mm-hmm. And we stopped for lunch at McCormick and Schmick's and sat down and kind of worked out what the schedule for this whole event was going to be.
Right. Forgot there's a Morton's Steakhouse.
Morton's is there, yeah.
There's a Ruth's Chris, I think, just down from that.
Ruth's Chris.
Yes.
Ruth's Chris.
I have to say it that way. I can never get it right.
But you can also take transportation.
Yes, we'll talk about that for a second. Talk about the Anaheim Resort Transportation. It's art. $5 a day, anywhere you want to go. And it's great for Good Neighbor Hotel if you're staying at the Good Neighbor Hotels. But even if you're staying on property, if you want to get to Target or you want to get to Walmart, they have a neighborhood Walmart neighborhood market. You want to get some groceries. If you want to go to downtown Anaheim, if you want to go, you can even get to Knott's Berry Farm on the art.
Can you really?
Yes.
How does that work? Do you call them up? Do you call them book them like a cab, or how do you?
No. It's around the Good Neighbor Hotel areas. It's a regular 15-20 minute shuttle.
Like trolleys.
Yeah,
It's a bus line.
I've done that the few times I've been out there. We stayed off property, and you just bought your ticket.
Yeah.
They dropped you off at the front of the parks.
So the hotel lines all drop off. All the lines begin and end at the Disneyland Resort. So if you want to get from your hotel to Knott's Berry Farm, you would take the shuttle that gets you to Disneyland, and then hop on a Knott's Berry Farm shuttle. The shuttles that go further out don't run quite as often, every hour maybe. You can also take the art to Angel Stadium, which we showed in the video, the Honda Center, the new Arctic Station, which is the new Anaheim Regional the new train station. But that train station will get you on Metrolink, which is the local train line, train line, the Amtrak, Greyhound, Megabus picks up at the Arctic Station. So you could get on Amtrak. You could take the art to Arctic and get on Amtrak and go to San Diego.
Right. Which we've done. We did it from Hollywood. We went from Hollywood, but same concept. It is much easier to get around Anaheim using public transportation than it will ever be in the city of Orlando. And because of the variety of places you can go using the art. So I want to really stress this for people. We'll talk about the Disneyland properties. And yes, for me personally, that's primarily where I want to stay. But there are times where either the availability isn't there or the price is just too high. And we focused on this week. We focused on 4 good neighbor hotels that we're covering, and
Those are our versions of the values and the moderates.
right, and whereas here, Disney is, we have good neighbor hotels here, but Disney wants you in their hotels. Out there, Disney certainly wants you in their hotels, but somebody I was speaking to said something to me when we were putting this all together that works out at Disney, that if it wasn't for the good neighbor hotels, we'd be in a lot of trouble because they only have a limited number of hotel rooms. And to fill their parks, they've got to have places to put these people. And so the good neighbor hotels, it's a much different relationship that Disney has with these resorts, I think, than they have here. And again, their proximity is what will blow you away. Is that there's a few Sheridan Park comes to mind, and the Hilton, and the Howard Johnsons. All 3 of them have rooms that have a view of the park.
Yeah.
And you'll see that as we cover those resorts and the videos and photos that we put together for it. But
Sheridan Park was real. Yeah.
Sheridan Park was like, okay, yeah, there it is. Same thing. There was that one room that we covered in the Howard Johnsons that just literally, like, you walk in the room and out the window, there's the Matterhorn.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. I mean, you're not going to find that in any off-property hotel here. So this just kind of, I think, adds to the richness of the experience when you can do some of this stuff. But let's say in Anaheim itself, what are some of the places you would recommend to folks that they should check out?
You want to think about the dads, take them to a Angels game. Angels they play April through September. When Angels aren't playing, go across the street to the Honda Center. Anaheim Ducks are playing there. Take them downtown. The downtown is kind of up and coming, trendy now. We showed shots of the packing house, and the area is called the Packing District, old packing houses. Anaheim Brewery's down there.
Yay.
Just got their attention.
I want that.
There's a burger place called Umami Burger, and then the Packing House, which is a bunch of different, like a conglomeration of things.
The coolest part of that whole area, too, for us, especially since we're Kevin Kidney and Jody Daly fans, they had a lot of play into the design. I mean, they truly love Anaheim.
They're very involved.
So they do the Halloween parade every year. They're in on the planning on that, and so they put a lot of their work into the packing house as well as Anaheim Brewery. And it's not the greatest beers. You can sample some on Disneyland property, but it's just a nice little. It really feels like a locals establishment whenever you go in there. And I mean, because people like them just walk in and they'll have a beer and then just leave. You really get an idea of
they don't pay
how
for
awesome. I doubt they pay. I mean, because they do the logos.
Okay.
They do it the cowboy way. They just slap coins on the counter. Give me a beer.
For the kids, in nearby Santa Ana, which is two on ramps from Disneyland, basically,
but not on the art.
I don't think so. I'll double check, but I don't think it's on the art. But it's the Discovery Science Cube, which has lots of kids hands-on type activities. So if you want to do something other than Disneyland on a day 6, that's a great option. For the moms, on the art is the outlets at Orange. There you go. The Westfield Main Place
moms
Mall.
and the gays.
Yes, thank you.
The moms and the gays.
And then brand new, starting in May, you can get from the Disneyland area to Costa Mesa, which is where the South Coast Plaza is, which is kind of the ultimate Southern California shopping destination with Nordstrom's, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Saks Fifth Avenue, Tiffany, Chanel. I could go on.
It sounds very similar to Millennium Mall.
Okay.
And Short Hills for those of you from New Jersey.
Right. But there's just so much to do in Anaheim and the Orange County area that you can't get bored.
Can I ask you a question,
Yeah.
Tom? We were talking about transportation
Yeah.
a minute ago, and you were talking about the art. Anaheim in general, given that it's a big tourist destination, depending on where you get it from, whether it be the airport or at your hotel, how are rental car rates? Are they higher than average, lower
Yes.
than average?
There is the Alamo that is right on site at Disneyland. So usually when I'm out there, I'll get some form of transportation from the airport to the hotel. And then for any days that we're going to go do something off-site, there's an Alamo literally right across from the Disneyland Hotel.
Right.
It's right there. And
Near the movie theater.
right alongside the movie theater, and rent a car. And I mean, they're incredibly nice. But yes, the rates are up there. I'm not going to lie. It's expensive.
Well, Corey had experience with Uber, and so did Tom, myself.
I love it.
Jennifer, and
I've
Kathy.
been using it a lot now.
They're the Disneyland Resort. There's one thing they're lacking, and it's a place to eat sushi. And I am addicted to sushi, so I had to find a sushi place in the area, and so I just Ubered it, and it was. I mean, they were there to pick me up within minutes, and when I was done eating, I got a car back, and it was wonderful. It was, the rates were great too.
We'll probably talk about this on the Knott's show, but we used Uber to get to Knott's Berry Farm, and it was $22. But we got the SUV, so we upgraded.
Okay, is anybody else like concerned? These are not registered cars and taxi drivers. You don't know. They probably are not carrying commercial insurance. If there's an accident, you are screwed. Does anybody else get concerned about this?
No, I'm not bringing my kids in because they don't have car seats or anything. But I'm fine with it. I'm sure they have some sort of insurance. I don't know the whole detail of it, but I just know
There is like a process to become a driver.
Yeah.
I know it involved like background, like there's a check and everything
Yeah.
like that.
SAT scores.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, just to give people an idea, actually, these rates are really good. I'm just sitting here looking just for research purposes at Alamo's website for a Thursday through Sunday, which is usually the higher rates on the weekends, at the Alamo at Disneyland. We're talking about rates for an economy car of $39 a day.
Oh.
A midsize SUV at $74 a day, convertible for $80 a day. These aren't terrible, actually. I think I just may have picked a good weekend because I know that I want to say that when we were out there doing this, and I got that, we had that big thing.
We had a minivan, and that's actually one of the more expensive cars you can rent. A lot of times minivans.
Yeah, well, this is a 7-passenger minivan, $84 a day. If you pay up front, it's $75 a day. I want to say I paid more than that. I want to say I paid over $100 a day for that. So, kind of keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, the freeways in Southern California are kind of legendary, but don't be afraid to use them.
where I think that comes in handy, though,
Hollywood.
is Hollywood, but also the beaches.
Oh yeah.
Heading out to Huntington Beach, just an awesome town. And I've pushed this before. There's a little restaurant on the main drag in Huntington Beach called the Sugar Shack, which is where apparently everyone in Southern California goes for breakfast on a Saturday morning. It is an awesome place, and the prices are like a full breakfast is like $6. And I asked the server there once, why are the prices so low? The owner wants to keep it reasonable for locals. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And it's great beach.
Right.
The pier is there. Some really great, cool shops there in Huntington Beach. I've done some damage there. And of course, Huntington Beach, Laguna Beach is not far
Right.
off. Some of these places. So
Mary Jo's talked a lot about the beaches of Southern California. Go back and listen to some of those day 6 trips she's taken. She gets all over the place and does it really awesome.
When you recommend like a day 6 adventure, do you say make it day 6, or do you say start your vacation by doing this, or do you do this after you've been to Disneyland?
You could do it I mean, a lot of times we'll recommend something like this on your arrival day.
Okay.
When you don't have a full day, you don't want to use a full day of your ticket. Take a break in the middle if you're over a weekend or something, and it's going to be too busy in the parks, do a day 6. Go to Knott's Berry Farm, or go to Universal, or go to Hollywood, and look at the stars on the sidewalk.
So there's no hard and fast.
No. I mean, it's just how you want to plan your trip, and we always say that you don't have to over plan for Disneyland, so you could play it by ear.
Okay.
One park that we haven't talked about that's maybe hour and a half north of Disneyland there's a Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
For the coaster enthusiasts, that is the Southern California destination. They have, 15 different coasters or something.
Wow.
A ton. I may be exaggerating, but a ton of coasters. This summer they're opening what they're calling Twisted Colossus, which is they've remade their old wooden roller coaster Colossus, added metal and added steel, and made a huge roller coaster out of it that is just going to be awesome. I can't wait to try it. Some of the things they're doing on that. They're calling one of them the high five maneuver, where there's two roller coaster cars for the folks on iTunes. You're not going to see this, but the roller coaster cars that will twist and basically head to head, so you can high five the people.
Oh, yeah, that's what you need to be doing.
Yeah,
That
no, thank you.
60 miles an hour, reaching your hand out of the car. What could go
Pull
wrong?
the person out.
But we talked about we'll talk about some of the coasters at Knott's Berry Farm. But if you are a coaster enthusiast, Six Flags Magic Mountain is the place to be.
So, I mean, in getting down to San Diego, something I highly recommend if you have time.
San Diego Zoo, yes.
Going from taking the art over to the train station, hopping on an Amtrak train. Like I said, we had done this. Walter, Teresa, Kathy, and I had done this out in California, or out in Hollywood, and we got a cab over to the train station, and
it was so scenic.
it was
And
beautiful.
when we got to San Diego and the zoo,
Beautiful
that
ride.
was a great trip.
And went and did the San Diego Zoo. And, of course, SeaWorld is down there as well. But just the city of San Diego.
Yeah.
Just the city of San Diego. Just that harbor area. It's incredible.
The Del Coronado.
The Hotel Del Coronado, which is on Coronado Island right outside San Diego, which was the inspiration for the
Grand Floridian.
The Grand Floridian. For that, you're going to need a car. I don't think they're going to have.
Right, no.
But I remember getting into San Diego on the train, coming outside, and the line of buses going everywhere. I mean, there's SeaWorld, there's Wild Animal Park, there's the San Diego Zoo, all right there. So, it is a mass transit sort of deal if you don't want to rent a car. But as Tom pointed out, the freeways are legendary, and as many times as not, coming back from San Diego to the resort, the freeway was jammed. And it took us an hour longer to get back to Disneyland Hotel because of that. And this was like at 8 o'clock at night.
Right.
And 9 o'clock at night, and it was packed. And it was an hour sitting in traffic. So factor that in if you're going to rent a car. And we found the whole experience of doing the train much, much easier. Plus, for me, nothing worse than driving somewhere, going around a theme park like all day, and you're doing stuff, and you're getting tired, and then it's 9 o'clock at night, and you get in the car, and I got an hour and a half drive ahead of me.
Yeah.
There's like nothing worse than that. I just want to sleep. So, what else? I mean, we are going to in other shows we're going to be talking about Knott's Berry and Universal, but
one last thing I can't help but mention: if you have a car, get over to Griffith Park, ride the carousel.
Yeah.
the carousel that started it all,
Carousel
basically.
that started it all. Yeah, I mean you're right there. There's no reason why you shouldn't.
And if it's the weekend, the correct weekend,
Yeah.
go walk across the street and go to Walt's barn.
Yeah.
And because that is the barn that was in his backyard.
Yeah.
And with his steam trains, the Carolwood Pacific, you can go in. There are remnants of his of his original Carolwood Pacific are in the barn, and literally Walt's tools are there. I mean, he constructed the interior of that barn, so all of the tables and everything. I mean, that was crafted by Walt's hand. And then there's a little steamer club that's there, and they have little trains that you can ride, miniature trains similar to what was in Walt's backyard. They've just refurbished one of the original cars, the combo car from the original Disneyland Santa Fe Railway sitting out there. And they also are refurbishing some of the original Storybook Land Cinderella Castle scene village houses out there right now. So those are on display because all those houses were replaced at one point. So there's a lot of Disney history there.
Neat.
But when you think in that barn, I mean, Walt literally touched, that barn, and that he considered that one of his happy places.
And this is run and maintained by a group of train enthusiasts.
Yeah.
The nicest men and women. They are just we go there every time we do the Backstage Magic. That's one of the stops when we're in Hollywood, and they are just very welcoming and very nice. But they are nerds on a level that make us.
Yes,
They make
are.
us look cool.
Welcome to
Okay.
Disneyland. Yeah.
But they also have history as well. I think a few of them are, former Disney cast members,
Yeah.
former
Yeah.
Imagineers. They take a real pride in that. And yes,
Oh, yes, they do. And they should. They should.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
what they've created there is absolutely incredible. Because there's like a little miniature train. It's not the one that was Walt's, but it's very similar to the one Walt had in terms of its scale on the Carolwood property. And you take a ride around on this train. And it's a little thing you sit on. It's you don't look attractive sitting on this.
But
one.
the looks on everybody's faces, because that was like a part of Disney history again. I just remember everybody on there like,
Yeah.
it was a big deal.
It's a big deal. So I absolutely agree. Stop over at Griffith Park. Plus, there's the observatory up there
Right.
as well. So these are some of the things to do when you're at Disneyland. That would be a great day 6 adventure to borrow from your show. And we are going to be talking about some other things this week that you should definitely think about in terms of complementing your stay at Disneyland with some other experiences, namely Universal Studios and Knott's Berry Farm. But that is going to do it for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back with you again next time with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Thanks for being with us, everyone, and remember, go to Disneyland.